a lot of people think to secure a great rank or a good score, you need to be all over the place. You need to have multiple resources. You need to have information coming from multiple platforms, and only then you can get a great rank. And this is what happened, and this is why this is important. Well, Dr. Joseph, he got rank 19, and immediately after getting rank 19, Marrow said that, INI-CET rank 19 is Dr. Joseph. But then multiple platforms also started publishing his photograph. And this is new to us because he actually reached out to us and said, I did not use any platform other than Marrow, and I don't know why people are using my photograph. What did you feel when your photo was being published everywhere as a person who used multiple platforms?
I felt that it was not right to do that because I had I never used any of the other platforms, but I didn't understand why they were using my photo. I didn't understand from where they got my photo in the first place.
Did you ever use their test or any notes or any MCQ exam, anything?
No, sir.
Nothing. You
No.
did not use any other platform,
No.
yet they were still publishing your photograph. It's okay, it's understandable. But the point I'm trying to make here is not that. The point I'm trying to make here is that he used one source, he trusted on it, and he got the rank he wanted. And now after getting rank 2, he was like, quickly talk to me, and I want to put my story out there for the world to listen to. Because if I don't do this right now, there'll be a lot of people circulating my photograph and saying that he has used multiple platforms. He has not. And it is real, it is possible. So if you're worried that can you trust a platform, yes, you can. Any platform would do. And the reason I'm saying Marrow is because Marrow has worked for him. Right? Marrow has worked for him. The grand test have worked for him. The Q bank has worked for him. The videos have worked for him. The notes have worked for him, and it can work for you as well. So don't worry about what kind of false information or wrong information you might get. Trust a source, stick with it, and just do what he did. I have brought down the story, I've brought down his strategy, and I've simplified it for you to repeat.
After I completed all the videos, I gave a grand test to know
Okay.
where I stood.
Okay.
And in that they gave those analytics thing, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, in
for
that.
people who don't know this, let me just bring you up to speed. What happens is when you give a Marrow grand test, right? On Marrow platform, when you give a grand test, your score is generated graphically in a form of analysis to show you which subjects you're strong at and which subjects you're weak at, to understand which subject you need to pay attention to, right? So what happened with that analytics? What did the analysis tell you?
So in that, I found my weak subjects were community medicine, pharmac, micro, dermat, a few subjects like that. So
Those are the
I knew
same
that
subjects everybody find very difficult, Joseph. Don't worry about it.
yeah. So I was particularly weak in it.
Okay.
I knew that I had to spend a lot more time revising it.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Basili, your orthopedics faculty with Marrow, and it gives me, I don't know, I have no words to explain this story here that is going to, happen tonight. This person, Dr. Joseph, is just someone you need to listen to, because this is for me an ideal candidate for a lot of people who want to crack NEET PG exam. And this is probably the interview or the only interview that you need to listen if you want to plan and strategize your exam. Dr. Joseph, he's a 2015 MBBS batch from Government Medical College, Thrissur, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. The first time he even considered writing NEET PG was after his internship. He's an average student who studied average books except for a few standard textbooks in MBBS. Never a topper, decided to study for NEET PG in April 2021, purchased Marrow Plan C, couldn't get through in NEET PG 2021, sat down, got rank 2 in NEET PG 2022. Now, I kid you not, like there are a lot of myths and rumors and stories out there that a lot of toppers use a lot of platforms to study, but this one guy used only one platform, and you need to listen to this story to believe it. Congratulations, Dr. Joseph. Congratulations once again on securing a single digit rank in NEET PG 2022.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Now, I will not, waste your time or everyone's time asking you how you feel. I know we are all ecstatic. We are ecstatic, so I can't even begin to imagine what you must feel right now. I know you're on cloud 9 or cloud 27 if it exists, but quickly come down to your story and just reaffirm what happened. What kind of a student were you in MBBS?
Well, I always used to I always liked reading the books, whatever it was. I like to study whatever was taught that day, and rather than means preparing for an exam. I wanted to learn what I was seeing. Means whenever we see someone or see a case, I wanted to know why that is that way, and I would read about that case or something like that.
Right. No,
So
no, no.
I
What about the books? What about the standard books? What about the local Indian author books? Were you a person who always picked up foreign authors to pick up the information and knowledge? What kind of books did you read in first year and second year?
in I wouldn't say that I had read only standard books all through these years. Means some of the books were standard books. In second year, I read Robbins, Tripathi, etc. But most of the other subjects, I read the Indian author books.
Okay. What about medicine? A lot of people think that unless you read Harrison, you can't secure a good rank. Did you read Harrison?
It would be a lie if I said I didn't read Harrison at all, but not from from the beginning to end. Whenever I felt that I didn't understand something from another book, that is Davidson, then that's when I read Harrison. I didn't have the
So
book
your
myself.
standard book for medicine was Davidson, and you would refer to Harrison only for a few topics that you found confusing.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what about securing good marks in your professional exams? Were you the topper in your MBBS? Were you a nerd that everybody used to ask doubts from?
It appears that I was others might have thought that I was a nerd initially in the first year or so. First year and second year I had distinction in the professional exams, but after then I didn't. Even though I felt that I was studying harder, I didn't get the marks
Because
for my exam.
as I know, a lot of students are extremely talented and hardworking in Government Medical College Thrissur, right? To compete with them is a very hard task, and you
Yes,
couldn't
sir.
obviously. But even though you couldn't beat them there and secure a top rank, you have gotten NEET PG rank too. This is insane. I mean, you couldn't beat the students in your batch, but you have uh, beat everyone in the whole country. But I'll come to that. But I want to understand what was your approach in terms of entrance exams in India, because I listen to a lot of interviews with toppers. I talk to a lot of toppers. I mean, if you put down a number, I think I have spoken to more than 100 toppers this year itself.
Yes.
One common thing that I find is that they subconsciously start preparing in second year itself or third year itself. They join an offline coaching, they start preparing their notes. By the time they reach internship, they already have some 15 or 10 subjects ready with their notes. What was your case? Did you go to any offline coaching? Were you aware of entrance preparation, MCQs?
I had heard about it. I had seen my friends preparing for it right from second or third year, but I never felt like doing it myself. So I didn't actually think about what I was going to do next while I was studying during my MBBS years. It's only after I finished my internship I thought what next to do with my life.
So, I mean, do you expect me to believe right now? You expect me to believe that you did not study for NEET PG exam before internship?
That's the truth, sir.
I know that, but this is something that is unbelievable for a lot of people, because a lot of people assume that by law or by rule you should start preparing by second year or third year, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Mm,
So even your friends in your own college would have started preparing in second and third year, right?
yeah, some of them.
Right. Now, since we have established that you were not a person who started preparing long back, now I want to come down to your strategy without wasting a lot of time. I want to understand what you did so that people who are doing their internship right now, about to finish
Yeah.
their internship right now, can mimic what you did. Okay. Now, just be very honest and tell me what you did deep down to the last detail. Okay. So, as of right now, you've told me so far that till April 2021, which was the original date of your internship completion, you
Mm,
didn't prepare for NEET PG exam.
no.
In April 2021, you purchased Marrow Plan C,
Yeah. Towards
right?
the
You
end of
purchased Marrow Plan C.
April.
You thought your internship would end and you would proceed with the preparation, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, what happened?
Our government extended our internship by 3 months due to the pandemic. So
Right. So
we
your
had to work
internship
till,
got extended. So what kind of work is in your internship? Is it hectic in Thrissur?
yeah, it was really hectic. We could not even think about preparing for entrance during our internship.
It was the
So
second wave. That is the time when the second wave hit,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yes,
you couldn't sit down and prepare and study sincerely.
not at all.
So let's assume April, May, June, July, right?
Yeah,
Till
July.
June, July, you were still busy with your internship.
Yeah,
Now, after you finished your internship, you had ample time in the day to sit down and study, right?
yes,
Now,
yes.
tell me what you did with Marrow Plan C that you got rank to. What could you do with C?
When I purchased, I had started watching the videos, but I couldn't watch much because of my work, and I could only manage watching 5 subjects from during this period. And
So April, May, June. April, May, June, July. 4 months
sir, by
you.
the end of April only I bought it. So
Okay, so let's
for
forget
May,
April. May,
yeah,
June, July. 3 months you
July.
finished 5 subjects.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me which 5 subjects you finished?
Pathology, OBG, pharmac, forensic, and ENT. ENT was the
Okay,
first
these
video I
five
watched.
subjects you watched the videos and did you make your own notes?
Yes.
Okay, now can we go down to the details now? How would you do this? How would you watch the videos, make your own notes, and do the question bank if you did?
While watching the videos, I took down the notes, and right after each video, I used to do the question banks for those videos.
For those videos, so relevant question bank of those
Yeah,
videos. So, for
yeah,
example, you're doing ear in ENT, you would
yeah,
watch Dr. Manisha teach you, you write
yeah,
down the notes and do
yeah.
the question bank, then and there, wrap it up,
Read
close
the
it.
notes and then do the question bank.
Watch the video, read the notes, do the question bank, call it a
Yeah,
day, right? And
yeah.
this you continued doing till September,
Till July end actually. Then
till July end.
yeah,
And then what happened in July end? You completed your internship?
yeah. That got over,
Okay. Now
and
you had more
then
time at hand.
yeah, I had all the time in the world, and I knew that the NEET was coming up in September. I didn't have huge hope for it, but I wanted to give a proper try. So I thought of revising whatever I had learned these 3 months. So
So
in
whatever
August,
you read those 3 months, you revised. Did you give a
yeah,
mock before going for the real NEET exam?
yeah, a day before that, I gave a mock.
So what was your NEET Marrow mock rank?
That exam it was 34,000.
34,000. So now, and you were confident that you could do well?
No, sir, I didn't have any expectations for the NEET. I knew that
Okay,
I
so
didn't
you went
prepare.
on to the NEET PG 2021 in September. What was your rank then?
17,000 something.
17,000 just by preparing for 3 to 4 months with Marrow Plan C, watching the videos, writing the notes, doing the question bank, and finishing how many? Roughly around 7 subjects?
Yeah, roughly.
Roughly 7 subjects.
Means
And so far in the story,
5 subjects completed and some subjects here and there. What to
okay,
tell you?
5 subjects completed, some subjects here and there, you got 17,000 rank. Till this date, have you ever given any grand test?
Yeah, after I finished watching all the videos, I gave grand test regularly.
No, no, I'm talking about September. Till September, did you give
No,
any grand test? So, no grand
uh,
test till now. The only
no.
grand test was your NEET mock.
Yes.
Okay, after giving NEET PG, getting a 17,000 rank, what was your feeling? Was it, did you feel that you could do this?
Yeah, actually, after I finished writing NEET PG, that time I knew that I could do better if I had studied for it because the
Okay,
paper I felt that it was really easy if I had studied.
okay,
So I thought that I could do better next time.
awesome. So, what did you
So
start with then after NEET PG?
I continued with the videos.
Mhm.
I think I don't know which subject I started with. I
Okay,
don't remember
so
that.
let's say you continued with the videos, again followed the same cycle of watching the
Yeah.
video, writing the notes, doing the question bank
Initially, I was
initially.
writing the notes. Initially, I was writing the notes, but it got really hard because I thought there was no time at all. They said that the NEET was in March, so I felt that there was no time to study everything and revise. So my friend suggested that he had bought the notes, Marrow notes. So I was actually reluctant at first because I had heard Sakshi ma'am say during the videos to try and write your own notes. So I tried to do it to my maximum, but it was not possible anymore. And I knew that I
Okay,
couldn't complete medicine like that. So I
okay.
bought the
So
notes.
till now you had some 5 or 6 subjects notes ready with you.
Yes.
In the story, till now you had 5, 6 subjects ready with you, but then you decided against writing more notes because it was taking a lot of time. You went
Yeah.
ahead, got the Marrow notes.
Yes, sir.
Now with Marrow notes, how did you prepare? Watch the videos, read the notes simultaneously, or after the video? How?
I started actually when I was writing the notes, I watched the videos in 1.2x or something. But after this, I slowly increased my speed and I reached 2x by the end.
Okay.
And
Okay.
when they were taking the class, I would go through the notes along with it and write down something extra if anything was mentioned.
Okay.
And then after the that class is over, I used to read that topic because I wouldn't understand everything from everything won't get into my head.
Register.
Kind of.
Everything won't
Yeah,
register in your mind, so you'd keep reading it again after the video. And then
yeah.
do the
I'll
question
read it
bank
one
like
more
you
time.
used to.
Question bank. By then, I wanted to complete a lot of videos, so I used to do allot time for question bank. Means before lunch, a few question banks. Before after tea, some question banks, and rest of the question banks
But of the
in the night.
relevant videos that you are watching
Yeah,
right now.
I
So
made sure that I completed it on the same day.
okay, so let me just put it out there again in a very simplified way. So once he decided that he didn't want to write any more notes, he purchased the notes. Now what he did was he would watch more videos while underlining or marking in the notes, and he would give more time to the videos and would allot sections of the day to the question bank, but solve only the question bank of the relevant videos that he's watching that day. Right? Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And this continued till when? When did you finish all the videos of Marrow with all the notes, whether written or printed?
I finished it by November, end of November.
So end of November. So for people who've lost the timeline here, he started at the end of April. So let's forget April. He had May, June, July, 3 months where he could only do 5 or 5.5 subjects, right? Then after July, August, September, October, November. So that is roughly 7 months. Took you 7 months to do Marrow videos with notes, partially written, partially printed. Done
Yes, sir.
completely cover to cover with relevant question bank or not?
Almost all subjects with relevant question banks.
With relevant question bank. Now, this must have taken you 20 hours a day, isn't it?
No, sir. It
How
didn't
many hours did you
actually.
study every day?
10 hours or something. 10 hours.
How is
10,
it possible in 10 hours, man? How is it possible? A lot of people say it is impossible to finish 5 hours video in 10 hours of the day
because I watched it in 2x. Everything.
because you watched it in 2x. Awesome. Awesome. So he could do it. It is possible. It is manageable. You just have to be crazy about it. You have to just do it. Now, what about your life while you were doing this? 10 hours of studying. What was your life like from April to November?
Initially, while I was watching the videos, it was really hectic because I felt that I was going crazy because I wanted to complete it as fast as possible, and I didn't watch. I couldn't spend time doing anything else. Most of the from beginning to end, only watching the videos.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, I used to watch series during that time. Yeah.
Which series did you watch?
Many series I completed. The Good Doctor, Money Heist, like that.
Uh-huh. Anyway, so November, you finished your syllabus, the first reading with the videos and the question bank. You appeared for November INI-CET. What happened?
In November, INI-CET, I hadn't completed watching the videos then.
How
I
many
was
subjects were left? What was left?
I was on my last subject, medicine. I had started medicine by then.
Okay.
It was on 16th, I think. Then
Yeah.
I got a rank of 1,300 in that initial.
Okay. So coming from Marrow Mock 34,000 to NEET PG 17,000 to INI-CET 1,300 in a span of 7 months. What
Yes.
did it feel like? It must have felt like, it's just
Yeah.
proof of the pudding. It must have felt like, yes, you can do this.
Yes, sir. It felt really good, especially the initial 1,300 rank. I had never expected that I had improved that much over such a short span of time. So it
Okay.
was actually not believable for me at first. But
Okay.
still, I didn't have very high hopes for
No,
myself.
but with 1,300 rank, you could have gotten something in INI-CET, right?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you take anything?
Because I knew that I hadn't given my full attempt yet.
Because you knew that you didn't revise still, right?
Yeah,
The moment
yeah,
you start revising, you will be sharper and then you
yeah.
can actually be better. Right. So
Yeah.
after INI-CET, what happened? You came back to your grind. Now, this is where you start your revisions, right? So I want to
Yes, sir.
understand, how did you start your revision? Did you start from the first subject you started in April, or went forward, or how did you plan your revision? What was your
No,
strategy?
before giving my first revision, before starting my revision, by after I completed all the videos, I gave a grand test to know
Okay.
where I stood,
Okay.
and in that they gave those analytics thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
in
for
that.
people who don't know this, let me just bring you up to speed. What happens is, when you give a Marrow Grand Test, right, on Marrow platform, when you give a Grand Test, your score is generated graphically in a form of analysis to show you which subjects you're strong at and which subjects you're weak at, to understand which subject you need to pay attention to, right? So, what happened with that analytics? What did the analysis tell you?
So in that, I found my weak subjects were community medicine, pharmac, micro, dermat, a few subjects like that. So
Those are
I
the
knew
same
that I had,
subjects everybody find very difficult, Joseph. Don't worry about it.
yeah. So I was particularly weak in it.
Okay.
I knew that I had to spend a lot more time revising it.
Okay.
Uh,
So, how did you
so I
revise? So, did you watch the videos again? Did you do the question bank again? Did you read them? What did you do for revision?
I didn't watch the videos again. I
Okay.
used my notes. I used to read for my first revision. I used my notes. I read from the beginning to the end,
Okay.
and whatever I had learned on one day, whatever I revised one day, I would do all the question banks of that.
Same
Whatever
day.
I revised, yeah, same day.
Same
It
day.
was always it was not always possible. I couldn't always complete it, so I would keep some buffer days in between to
Okay.
finish whatever was I was lagging behind.
Okay. So, your revision strategy was, read the notes, do the questions from the question bank.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
we still in 10-hour
Initially.
per day here, or have we moved on to more?
Yeah, still 10 hours per day.
Still 10 hours per day, still surviving.
Yeah.
Right. So you went from the first book that you started writing to the last book in one go, or was it split? Means, suppose you started with, you said you started with ENT, obs and
Yeah.
gyne, right, in April. So you
Yeah.
started revision in that order, finishing
No,
one
no.
subject after another, or jumping from one subject to another haphazardly.
Uh, no, I only from after completing one subject, I studied the next one, but
Okay.
not in the same order I watched the videos.
But from the order of weakest to strongest.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome strategy. So he picked the GT analysis, identified what his weak subjects were, picked them up, started revising them. So he worked from his weak to strong subjects, and he completed one subject and then moved on to another subject. Right. So, how long did it take you to finish your first revision?
2 months almost.
2 months. So, are we talking about December, January?
Yeah, December, January end.
By end of
End of
January, you
January.
had finished your first revision.
Yes.
And did you start giving grand tests by now?
Yeah, during this time I was giving grant test regularly every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. So, you must have had what, four grand tests
In this period, yes.
in this period. So by the end of January, your first revision was over. And what was your best grand test score?
Overall, from
This two
until
months,
January,
December, January.
best score was within 100. By end of January, I think I
By end
got
of
within 100.
January, you could come to top 100. Amazing, amazing. And then what happened at the end of January?
At the end of January again, yeah, I thought that I was running short of time because the NEET was in March initially.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I had to change my strategy for the next revision. I focused on my weak subjects, and I used to made use of the GT and the topics and the questions. There were some repeat questions in GT,
Mhm.
and
So
so
what did you do with those questions? Did you bookmark them?
yeah, in GT, I didn't use much of bookmarking. Bookmarking was done in the
Question
regular
bank.
Marrow question bank. So, but I noted down the atypical questions and repeat questions in GT in my mind and in a notebook.
So you had a
And
separate notebook for this?
I wouldn't say it was a proper notebook. So just some I would note down note down that I have to read this again and again.
Okay. So you
Just
would
that.
just write down the topic that you would need to revise again and again, because it's high
Revising. Yeah.
yielding. Okay. So you
Yeah.
have a list of those topics with you?
Not a proper list, actually. Some of it
Okay.
was only in my head. Actually, I
Some of
was
it
not.
was in your head.
Actually, I didn't do the GT reviews at first. I was,
That is what
somewhat
I wanted to
lazy.
come to. I wanted to come to you. So you did 4 grand tests by end of January. Would you do the grand test review after each grand test, or would you just let it go?
Initially, I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do the GT review because initially there was many wrong questions and I felt a bit depressed.
Okay.
I didn't feel like doing the review, and because I was not very strong in all those subjects, I thought that I wouldn't understand if I was
Yeah. So you
reviewing.
automatically assumed, since I have not revised them multiple times, I am either way not good at it. Why bother reviewing it? I deserve to get such a low score, and you were satisfied with it.
Yeah.
Right. So when did you start reviewing? What made you realize that reviewing is important?
It was actually my friend Bhavit that compelled me to review because he always used to call me and asked if you had reviewed the grant tests. And I would say that I didn't feel like it. So he would say that it's really important to review it. And he would
Okay.
compel me. So I asked him if he can do it with me. And we started video calling each other. Actually, there
And
was
then you
a third
both of
friend
you
also.
reviewed together.
Three of us. And one
So
more
three
friend
friends,
from our college.
all of you using Marrow,
Yeah.
all of you reviewed the grant test together.
Yeah, we'd give the grant test on the same day and review it together.
Right. So how
And
would this review go? Like you would read out one question or you would discuss, or how would that, because a lot of people think that doing group study at this time would be a lot of wastage. How would you do this?
actually, that's what actually changed my, ranks and memory retention, everything. We used to start with separately for each subjects. Uh, we start with anatomy and like that we finish everything. Whatever one person didn't know, the other person knew, and means they knew better about it. And so we would discuss those questions, and whatever none of us knew, we would usually leave it to so that we can read it later.
So if something was there that none of you knew, you realized, "Ki, okay, three smart brains don't know this stuff. Let's just ignore it."
Yeah,
Awesome. So you found out that there were subjects that your friends were good at, and there was few subjects that you were good at, and you started teaching them, and they started teaching you,
yeah.
and this helped you remember stuff long.
Yeah, it helped really helped with my retention of the things,
Awesome.
especially the
So
volatile things. We used to say that again and again in every GT. We used to recall those volatile things.
awesome, awesome. So this became your tradition now. After every GT, all of
Yeah,
you would get online and discuss it.
yeah,
That's amazing, amazing. So what did you do in February now? Because February was the last month before the exam.
yeah. That's when I started my second revision, and during that I used to skim through most of the topics, and whatever I felt I was weak in, or the GT repeat topics, all those things, I used to give more stress to those. And along with it, I did custom modules because I didn't have the time to do the entire question bank again.
Right. So for
Uh,
people who don't know what custom modules is, it's the feature in Marrow app where you can actually select the type of questions you want, the difficulty of the questions, and the subjects that you wanted in your questions, and you would just make a designed, customized module for yourself. So when you generate that module, you'll get a bunch of questions from all the parameters that you have set, and then you can practice and revise the specific area or focus on specific area that you think that you need to work on. That would be very handy if you are trying to focus on a particular weak area in your preparation. So you do your custom modules, right?
yes, sir. Every
So when did
day.
you finish your second revision?
Actually, in between the second revision, they had postponed NEET. So
That is
that's
when it
when I,
happened,
yeah.
right? So
So
your
I
second
relaxed a
revision,
bit.
you were doing a lot of custom modules while revising the notes and skimming through them, right? Is that
Yes.
what you're doing? And
Yeah.
suddenly in middle of February, they said that the exam is getting postponed. So what
Yeah.
happened when they told you that the exam is getting postponed? Did you stop studying?
No, I felt a bit relaxed that I don't have to rush through everything now, and I I didn't take any time off, but I changed my strategy again. Actually,
Okay.
I had seen your video, sir, about revising in timely about the timely revision. So I wanted to do that, but
The
I
one two
didn't.
one two technique.
Yeah, means 137
Yeah.
next
One three
month
five
like that.
seven. Yeah. One
Yeah,
month, 2 months. Yeah. Right.
yeah. So I wanted to do that, but at first I thought I didn't have the time to do that. But now, since it was postponed, I tried doing that, and I
How did you
changed.
schedule? How did you schedule the dates? Did you use an Excel sheet or did you write on a piece of paper when you need to revise those subjects?
I didn't schedule as such. I didn't write it on paper or anything.
But you
But
understand ki kab pakadna
yeah,
hai, when to pick it up,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Awesome. So you were doing your second revision at a gradual pace, as a leisurely pace, rather than the harsh pace that you were in.
yeah, yeah.
So when
A
did you
little
finish your
more
second
spread out.
revision?
I don't remember correctly. I think by the end of April.
By the end of April, you had finished
No,
your
no,
second
beginning
revision.
of April. Beginning of April.
Beginning of how do you remember it so vividly?
No, because by then I had started my next revision.
Right. So April, you started your third revision.
Yeah. In my
April, you
second
started.
revision, I didn't complete all the subjects actually. I left out some subjects, some small subjects and medicine because medicine was very bulky.
Okay. Awesome.
And
Now, what happened when you wrote INI-CET? When was INI-CET? It was in May.
May. Yeah, that was
May,
my
right?
primary target actually,
Okay.
because I felt that I was better at those kind of questions, doing those,
Okay.
solving those kind of
You wrote
questions.
INI-CET. What happened? What rank did you get?
19.
1.9.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
No, sir.
1.9. Awesome. Awesome. That is amazing. 19th rank in INI-CET. You have secured the seat probably that you wanted, right?
Yes, sir.
Were you surprised that you got 19 or was it a rank that you were expecting?
I was not at all expecting 19th rank in INI-CET because I felt that I did it very poorly.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I made
Okay.
a lot of
Now,
mistakes.
now I want to bring this piece of information to the aspirants or people looking forward to preparing for NEET PG exam, and this is important because a lot of people think you need a lot of platforms to study, because a lot of stoppers they talk about using multiple platforms while they were preparing or doing offline coaching and then doing online coaching and whatnot. Now I don't know whether all of it is real or all of it is unreal, but at the end of the day, what happens is a lot of people think to secure a great rank or a good score, you need to be all over the place. You need to have multiple resources. You need to have information coming from multiple platforms, and only then you can get a great rank. And this is what happened, and this is why this is important. Well, Dr. Joseph, he got rank 19, and immediately after getting rank 19, Marrow said that INI said rank 19 is Dr. Joseph, but then multiple platforms also started publishing his photograph. And this is new to us because he actually reached out to us and said, I did not use any platform other than Marrow, and I don't know why people are using my photograph. What did you feel when your photo was being published everywhere as a person who used multiple platforms?
I felt that it was not right to do that because I had I never used any of the other platforms, but I didn't understand why they were using my photo. I didn't understand from where they got my photo in the first place.
Did you ever use their test or any notes or any MCQ exam, anything?
No, sir.
Nothing. You
No,
did not use any other platform,
no.
yet they were still publishing your photograph. It's okay, it's understandable, but the point I'm trying to make here is not that. The point I'm trying to make here is that he used one source, he trusted on it, and he got the rank he wanted. And now after getting rank 2, he was like, quickly talk to me, and I want to put my story out there for the world to listen to, because if I don't do this right now, there'll be a lot of people circulating my photograph and saying that he has used multiple platforms. He has not, and it is real, it is possible. So if you're worried that can you trust a platform, yes, you can. Any platform would do. And the reason I'm saying Marrow is because Marrow has worked for him, right? Marrow has worked for him. The grand test have worked for him. The Q bank has worked for him. The videos have worked for him. The notes have worked for him, and it can work for you as well. So don't worry about what kind of false information or wrong information you might get. Trust a source, stick with it, and just do what he did. I have brought down the story, I've brought down his strategy, and I've simplified it for you to repeat. You need to dedicate yourself, and he did it 10 hours every day. What was your highest per hour study time before the exam, per day?
12 hours.
That's it, not more than 12 hours,
No,
right? Right.
no.
Now, Coming back to you as a person, we have actually gotten all the information we needed from you in terms of preparation strategy. Now let's talk about the real you here, because a lot of people assume since you're a topper you must have no life, you must have no life, you must have no hobbies, you must be a typical nerd who's with books all day long. What are the other things that you could manage to do in your day?
As I said before, I used to watch series, many series during this time because it was a really stressful time studying all the time. So that really helped me actually. Some of the series, actually, Good Doctor, actually helped me with my retention.
What about
Uh,
your hobbies? Any hobbies that you have, or any sporting activities that you do?
I'm not into sports, but I'm more into music. And to relieve stress, I used to, play my ukulele,
No,
and
no, 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 no,
also
listen
work
to
on.
me. Wait, wait. People will not trust me if I say that he's a musician. He plays music. So we need to prove this to the world right now. You need to prove us that you actually play that instrument and play it for us. Can
I'm
you
not
do
a
that?
professional musician, sir. I just do it for fun.
But for the sake of fun, let's just hear what you have to sing or play. Can you do that for us? It's like a sincere request from Marrow.
Yeah, in fact, I used to play this every day whenever I feel stressed, uh, to continue with my day. So I think this song is special for me. None of you would know it. I guess no one would know it, but it's special for me. That's why I'm gonna play that. I guess it's okay. Mhm. I never believed in things that I couldn't see. I said if I can't feel it, then how can it be? No, no magic can happen to me. And then I saw you, I couldn't believe it. You took my heart, I couldn't retrieve it. Said to myself, what's it all about? Now I know there can be no doubt. You can do magic, you can have anything that you desire. Magic, and you know you're the one who can put out the fire. You know darn well when you cast your spell, you get your way. When you hypnotize with your eyes, a heart of stone can turn to clay.
Thank you. That was amazing. And to be honest, you really did a number on all of us. You did your magic, and we are also inspired by your story and your immense hard work that you've put in the last few months before the exam. And
Thank
I
you, sir.
wish you all the best. And before we end this, I would like to thank you for giving us time in the middle of the night to make this video with all of
Yes,
us.
sir.
And your story and your strategy is so nicely and neatly described that I wish the juniors watching this video would find inspiration in this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.